What's up guys, it's Will here, back again, and today we're here to review the InArt Collectibles 1/6 scale Harry Potter figure from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I've been looking forward to unboxing this figure to see if InArt delivered on their most expensive single figure offering yet, and we're gonna find that out today. But before we get started, I gotta give a huge shout out to 1/6 Kit for selling me this figure early. If you're interested in purchasing InArt figures or third-party figures, make sure to check out 1/6 Kit via the link in the description below. You can use my code WillFox for $10 off your order. With that said, let's jump into the review. Per usual, I want to jump right into what you want to see. Let's take an up close and personal look at this Harry Potter figure so we can see what this thing is all about. After that, we'll review the accessories, any instructions that need mentioning, and my overall evaluation of the figure. Let's take a look. All right guys, so first things first, here is your up close and personal look at the InArt Collectibles 1/6 scale Harry Potter figure, the rooted hair premium version. Let me just say I've owned every single InArt figure that has released thus far, all of them being rooted hair versions, and to me this sports the best likeness to the actor, which is saying something because all of them are pretty damn good in their own way. This looks like Daniel Radcliffe at every angle to me. The head sculpt, the hair, the likeness, all of it looks pretty damn good. I do gotta say I am slightly disappointed in one thing. Mine came with a slight QC issue. You might not even be able to see it on camera. There's a very tiny paint scratch on the left cheek. When I originally unboxed the figure, the head sculpt was actually rolling around in the acrylic container. Very unfortunate. I do hope InArt finds a way to better secure these things moving forward. I am working with Kit and InArt to get a replacement head sculpt. You probably didn't even notice that scratch on camera, and you probably won't notice it throughout the rest of the review. It can only be seen under specific lighting conditions, but it is in fact there. So I am working on a replacement, and I will update you guys accordingly on that replacement. Regardless, the head sculpt is still stunning. Looking at the likeness, the glasses I think are the right size, the right shape. The hairstyling is fantastic. The overall tailoring on the outfit is great too. Looking at the outfit a little bit deeper, you can see the fabric is actually a really soft material. It has the Gryffindor patch on the right hand side. And even the tie and all that and the collar, all that sits pretty well. You can adjust it to your liking if you don't like how it's sitting here. This is mostly how it was out of the box. I did a very tiny amount of futzing, but feel free to adjust yours if you're not liking what you're seeing. That's the great thing about these outfits. They can be adjusted along with the hair as well. But the outfit is absolutely awesome. Plenty of articulation. The proportions are correct. The head sculpt and the likeness is fantastic. So overall, to me, I can't say enough good things about it. Again, this is a great likeness. Very much looks like Daniel Radcliffe, and the outfit is tailored beautifully. I think everything looks pretty much spot on to how I remember it from the film. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love that the robe is actually installed on him because most people are probably going to want to use this Hogwarts robe. Of course, there are other outfit choices you can use here, but I do love that InArt made it easy this time, as I've complained in every other InArt figure that they do require costume assembly, which is not the case this go around. So I'm very excited to report that to you guys. Regardless, let's take a look at the rest of the figure because to me, I am very excited just getting this thing unboxed, looking at the head sculpt. I think we're off to a pretty fantastic start, despite the small little QC issue, but not the end of the world. Okay guys, so this is the acrylic container that the head sculpt comes in. This is how yours should arrive. To remove the head sculpt, you just simply twist it off. Do not pull it off. You're gonna cause damage to the head sculpt. You don't wanna do that. So just simply twist it off. Mine unfortunately was rolling around in the tube. I do hope InArt can make sure these are secured again as they're shipping these out, but I do love the premium feel of this in terms of maintaining the integrity of the rooted hair head sculpt, which is what this acrylic case is designed to do, which I do think it does that. The hair on mine came pretty good. I didn't really have to do much futzing at all. I'd use one little dab of water to, make sure one hair was held down just a little bit. But other than that, I think it's really awesome as far as the packaging, just as long as they're secure. I do think InArt is a new company and they're figuring out these things, but yeah, overall, I'm very happy with the head sculpt, so pretty cool. So before we take a deeper look at the accessories, I want to show you guys what the figure body actually looks like out of the box. So when you unbox your InArt Harry Potter figure, this is how it's going to come. You actually have the Hogwarts robe already assembled on him, which I love. The instructions do recommend taking tweezers and pulling the robe off when you're ready to do so, but I do love that the robe is actually on him because I do think most people are probably going to want to use this Hogwarts robe on Harry Potter because it is a pretty iconic look. There are other options, which I will show you in this video, but I do think this looks pretty good. So let's start looking at the pieces of the base, because there are multiple pieces to assemble here. Nothing too crazy, but I do want to show you guys this. You can see this is the piece that actually has the magnets within that holds Harry's feet level and standing on the base. You can see the Gryffindor logo and of course the nameplate there. And of course there's a nameplate in the front, Harry Potter. The magnets are adjustable in the bottom, so if you twist this off, the back pops off, and of course you have some magnets that you can slide up and down and left and right, and you can adjust them to get Harry in the designated pose that you want. Then you just pop that piece back on and then you're good to go. This pops into the center of the base, so it's a really nice piece. Honestly, a lot of detail is put into this one. Feels very plastic, but it looks fantastic. The detail is exceptional. Paint apps are great. This is honestly a super, super cool base. If I was a massive Harry Potter stan, I would be absolutely over the moon with how this base and overall figure looks. So very impressed so far, but let's keep going. So what we're looking at here is really the foundation of the larger diorama display base. If you just want to display Harry with just this base, you can. It has the magnets within and of course a nameplate there. So if you just want to put that in, if you have a smaller display space and that's how you want to roll, you can absolutely do that. However, if you want to display the big diorama display base with the backdrop and everything, this is the one you'd want to use. You simply pop this one right in there. And of course, there you go. It's popped right in. You have a magnetic base here in the middle, and of course, a larger diorama display base where you attach the backdrop in the back, and of course, the wood panel and all that. So all that looks super cool. This looks great. I love this display base. Multiple display base options. Guys, what more could you ask for? This looks fantastic. So what you can see here is a big piece of plastic that's meant to mimic a hardwood floor. It goes to the front of the Harry Potter base. As you can see, it just slides on the front there. It's a little bit loose and wobbly until you install the back piece of the diorama, the big higher up display that we'll display in just a sec. But you just kind of slide that onto the front, leave it there. It hangs over the front just a little bit to have a nice wood diorama display base. Of course, not actual wood, it's plastic, but it's meant to look like wood. I think this base is actually really cool. This might be the best base that InArt has done thus far with their premium figures. So I am super impressed with this. Let's look at a little bit more of this. So what you're seeing here is a sideways view of the diorama backdrop. Sideways is the only way I can fit this massive thing into frame, but you can see the details on here are just absolutely awesome. There are actually pieces that are magnetically going to be attached that will attach to complete the diorama display base, but this is just how this part specifically comes out of the box. These two bottom pieces peg into the base. And of course you have sort of a windowing effect type of material here. I'm not sure what that actually is. It's reflective. You can't actually see through it. And of course there's a staircase here as well, meant to mimic sort of the Hogwarts environment that Harry is in quite so frequently because it's the Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone, depending upon your geographic location. But there's a lot of detail here. And again, I don't even think it's a question to me at this point. After seeing this, this is the best diorama display base that InArt has produced thus far. It's absolutely incredible. It feels very substantial in hand. I think there's a lot of detail to it and it feels very high quality. So honestly, no complaints from me on this one. All right, guys, so now we're looking at one of Harry's books here. This one's called Flying with the Cannon. So as you can see, a lot of detail on the front and back of the book. This one does not have actual text inside the pages like some of the other books we're gonna look at. This one, I'm not overly familiar with which scene this is representing. The Harry Potter diehard fans in the chat might have to let me know, but I do think there's still a lot of detail on this thing. It feels awesome in hand. Again, no text on the inside of the book, but the other books do have that, which I'm gonna show you in a sec here. So first book out of the way, I like this. So now we have a textbook called Crafts and Potions, and this one actually does have writing and pictures and text of all kinds on the inside of the book. I think the attention to detail here is pretty remarkable. Again, having each page have its own inscriptions and pictures and just feels so alive like the world of Hogwarts. I think that's remarkable. Again, an awesome textbook. You can have Harry holding this, have him open and reading it if you want to do that. But again, the amount of detail involved here is incredible. I mean, you could go and read this book. I mean, you might need a magnifying glass, but you can go and read this. You could make crafts and potions by the end of this. I think this is awesome. So now we have another book called The Magical Theory, and you can see the red and gold accents with the paint applications. Of course, this book has, just like the other, a ton of pictures and text internally. Just awesome, a lot of detail. So you can scroll through there, read if you want, have Harry reading it if you want to do that. There's a lot of cool stuff to work with here. So we have a textbook here that actually opens vertically instead of horizontally. And there's like pictures in there of Harry and his parents. And of course, other sort of drawings and diagrams. And then pictures of Harry and Hermione and Ron in there. It's just awesome, dude. So much attention to detail. And again, just like the other books, absolutely awesome. So these may be a little bit difficult to see on camera, but these are actually the chocolate frogs, the magic chocolate frogs. There are 3 of these included with the package here, so you could do any types of poses with these if you want. You could put them on the base with Harry. You can do a lot of cool stuff. They are very tiny though, so be very careful. They are plastic. You don't want to break these or misplace them, but you got some chocolate magic frogs. What more could you ask for? So what you have here is the Philosopher's Stone / the Sorcerer's Stone, depending upon your geographic location. So that's pretty cool. It has a translucent sort of red painting application. It looks great. And then you have actually a baggie meant to replicate the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone being hidden in there, being safely secured. So you can use either one of these to display Harry if you want. I think I might end up using that Philosopher's Stone there. I'm pretty excited about that, but some small accessories, really nice additions though. So what this is actually a chocolate frog container. So you can actually open it up, as you can see here, put a chocolate frog in there and store it nice and safely. So you can do that if you would wish. To me though, if you're gonna be using the chocolate frogs, you might as well put them outside on the base or have Harry holding them or something. You could have them in the package, but it's just gonna be hidden. It kind of defeats the purpose. So what we have here is Harry's wand box. So you can see here, the box does actually open. It has an internal layer of foam padding underneath. You can stick the wand in there and put it nice and safely and securely if you would like. But to me, you're probably gonna have him holding it or the wand somewhere on the base or even in the packaging. So you do have a nice little wand box. Harry did pick out his wand in this first film from my recollection. So it is pretty cool. It's a nice little sort of paper, I guess, material, and it holds the wand nicely if you would wish to do that. So what we have here is Harry's Hogwarts acceptance letter, and then you actually have sort of a info of some kind talking about first-year students and the requirements. So this is pretty cool. Again, the text is super small, so it's going to be pretty difficult for you guys probably to decipher on camera, but I do think it's really nice to have these. It's a paper material, very lightweight. It's 1/6 scale, so nothing too crazy. So what we have here is actually an envelope with some writing on it, and this is actually a ticket to the Hogwarts Express train that Harry uses to get actually on the train to go to Hogwarts. Again, pretty cool. Again, somewhat niche accessories, I guess I would say, but I do think they are nice to have. Again, InArt packed this thing with a ton of accessories like they always do with their premium figures. So can't deny that. I mean, you're paying a lot for these figures, but you are getting a lot of stuff too. So this is actually a pretty important accessory. This is the sorting hat you'll probably remember from the first film. And this is actually what students use to help place them or sort them into their actual house. You know, Harry was actually wearing this saying like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. He really didn't want to be House Slytherin. And the sorting hat was like, fine, dude, don't cry about it. I'll put you in Gryffindor. So that's what he did. So you can put this on Harry's head here. You can see it has the little pieces of fabric hanging down. It's really nice, a lot of detail. This is a fully sculpted piece up here. This is pretty cool. You might actually end up using this one. If not, you put it on the display base, you know, to accessorize. This is pretty cool. I really, really like this part. So this is another really cool accessory here. This is a lantern with an LED effect that I've gone ahead and activated so you guys can see what it looks like on camera. Of course, we have a couple lights shining on this thing, so it might be drowned out a little bit, but it's actually shining pretty bright. I do think overall this is a cool accessory. You're not gonna wanna have this thing shining bright all the time because that battery is gonna die, or that light rather, LED is gonna die pretty quickly. To activate it, you just pop off the bottom, you just push the little light down, boom, you're good. Nothing super difficult at all there. But again, a lot of detail on this. You can see the light actually has some sort of like spider-like effects on it. It's pretty cool, actually. I really do like it. So this lantern is pretty nice. Has a little handle at the top. If you wanted Harry holding it, you probably could. So cool, another great accessory, I like it. So I know you're probably dying to know about the hands, the most exciting part of the video. You have gloved hands here that are meant to replicate Harry's winter look. When you put the winter cloak on him, you can do that with the gloved hands. And of course you have non-gloved hands that can work for any number of looks. But the one most important thing that I think should be mentioned here, no more magnets. It might be hard to see that on camera. So these actually use a different type of wrist peg. InArt has ditched the magnets for this Harry Potter figure, and I'm interested to see how that works out in practice. So we're gonna test that out. The wrist pegs are a little bit different on this one. There are unfortunately no extra wrist pegs included, which I think is a major miss. InArt needs to include extra wrist pegs. I think that's just honestly common courtesy for a 1/6 scale company. You know, Hot Toys does that, 3.0 even does that. I think it's something that InArt should be doing, an extra set of wrist pegs just in case something breaks or goes wrong. These hands have a lot of detail though. I like them, they're great, but no extra wrist pegs. I don't love that. So this is Hedwig's cage, Hedwig being Harry's owl, which we'll take a look at in a sec. The cage is actually made of metal, and of course you have a plastic on the bottom here. There was a metal chain that was attached on the bottom here. Mine broke off almost immediately. I'm not sure if that's user error or QC, one or the other, but either way, I'm gonna be contacting InArt about a possible replacement on that front. The cage does actually open and close at the front here. It really closes nicely and securely, so everything is pretty safe there. Hedwig can be popped on with 2 little foot pegs right in the middle there, so he's very safe and secure. This is metal, like I mentioned. It has a little handle at the top, so Harry can be holding it if you wish. It might be a little bit heavy for the hand joint though, so you do want to be careful with that. But I think this would be cool having this on the base. That would be a really nice addition. So very nice accessory. I like the detail of it. Don't love that the chain broke off, but other than that, I mean, small little inconvenience for a, really cool accessory. So this is a costume accessory. This is Harry's winter robe. It connects to the top here. There's a little button that latches onto the other side and you connect the winter robe. This is really cool. You would use the glove hands for this look, obviously. I do like this robe. It's very, very soft material. Honestly, I would wear this if you raise this up to 1-to-1 scale. I mean, of course, it would be for a child still, but if you made an adult size, I would actually pick this up. Maybe I should go to the Hogwarts land in Universal Studios and buy this. And one of the most important accessories included here is Mr. Hedwig, Harry's owl. So there are 2 little pegs here that you can peg into the feet of Hedwig on the base or on other parts of the figure. There's actually a piece that you can connect to him as well, so he can be sitting on Harry's arm. So there's a little translucent piece of plastic that you plug into the feet and you just slide over Harry's arm and it holds really nicely and securely. The detail is great here. It's one sculpted piece, but it is fantastic. Hedwig looks great. A lot of life in the eyes in this owl. I think this is awesome. This is a really cool accessory. I think you're going to want to use Hedwig in some way on the base. He can go on the top of the base. He can go in the cage. He can go on Harry's arm. You're going to want to use him in some way, shape, or form. I think this is probably the best accessory so far. But there's still time because we got Harry's broom here that he plays Quidditch with. So this is really cool. You can see the front of the broom here. It looks like a paintbrush, to be honest. And then of course the back end here, which to me feels 100% like real wood. I'd be shocked if it weren't. But again, you have a lot of detail here. You have this great Quidditch broom. If you're going to want to have Harry riding this, I'm assuming you're going to need a flight pole of some kind. To me, I think it would be cool to just have him holding it, sort of in maybe a Quidditch type, stoic type pose, a character pose without him riding it. Again, if you're going to want to have him riding it, you're going to be needing to use a different base. Still, this looks awesome. I love how this looks. Let's see if I can get the whole thing in frame. Most of it, so you can see this broom is pretty great. This is a 1/6 scale broom. Looks like a paintbrush, but it's absolutely awesome. I like it. So we have Harry's super tiny wand here. This thing is awesome, but it feels very, very fragile. You want to be super careful with this thing not to snap it in half. Very tiny, feels pretty fragile. I do like it though. There's a lot of detail. You're going to want to have him holding this for a lot of poses, I feel like. It is a wizarding world after all. So I do like this wand, but again, be very careful with it. So this is Harry's scarf. This is the scarf you would be using for the winter outfit. InArt should be designing clothes at this point because this is very, very soft. I love this. I would love to get this in 1-to-1 scale. I'm not sure how I would look, but I still do like the feel of it. Again, very cool scarf used for the winter outfit. I like it. Color scheme is great. Very accurate to the film. So another cool costume accessory. Yay. If I haven't already effectively communicated my amazement with this figure, I'm going to try to do so now. This Harry Potter figure is incredible. This is InArt's best head sculpt to date, and I have a difficult time perceiving any drop off from the quality of the prototype to the quality of the final product. Right or wrong, this quality is what collectors expect for the premium price they're paying. Well, InArt delivered that here. The quality of the head sculpt is great, and it looks so much like young Daniel Radcliffe that I have a hard time believing any diehard Harry Potter fan will be disappointed with this product. I do want to discuss Harry's scar quickly. I haven't shown it to you for good reason. The hair is styled with quite a bit of product to maintain the styling as it ships to you. Moving the hair is not an easy process, and to be honest, I'm not comfortable moving it because the hair resists when you try to do so. When you get your copy in hand, you make your own decision if you really want to see that scar, but I'm not comfortable potentially jeopardizing the hairstyling or worst case, damaging the figure to showcase the scar. When you get yours in hand, you make your own determination though. But on a side note, I love this diorama base. InArt has made some awesome bases so far, but this has to be the best one. It's very tall though, so you're gonna need a lot of space to display this properly. The base measures about 15 inches in height, so you wanna measure your space before it arrives. However, if you just want to display the solo base without the diorama, you can do that. But to me, that would be a shame since the diorama is just so awesome. The magnets do hold much better to the feet of this figure, and I do think it's probably due to the size of the figure being smaller than other adult characters. So this one should actually be pretty stable. I also think the accessories are great. Everything you could ask for is here, and there's 3 different costume looks you can display. So I prefer the robe look, but the winter cloak with the scarf is also really dope. I displayed it 2 different ways. I had one wrapped around and also one draped. You pick your favorite. But let's talk about some small issues. Firstly, having a head sculpt come with a scratch on it, it's never fun, especially with a figure this expensive. QC is an aspect in which InArt needs to improve. I had issues with the hands on my Aragorn, and now I'm dealing with the scratch head sculpt on Harry. Whether it be safer shipping methods or some sort of other alternative, InArt needs to better manage their QC. The same goes for the chain on Hedwig's cage. That shit broke off immediately. I do think the proportions look better with the robe on Harry, and I do think with the robe off, the head looks just a tiny bit large, but nothing figure breaking. In person, it's fine, but I do think the robe or the winter cloak are the best way to display this figure. There's really no other issues for me. The rest of the figure is dynamite. Everything else works as intended, and there's not much to criticize. I just hope my replacement head sculpt arrives soon. I've contacted both Kit and InArt for assistance, so hopefully soon. This Harry Potter figure is awesome. We as collectors tend to formulate very strong opinions based on limited information. We all do it, and it's normal. However, trust me on this one. This figure in hand is exceptional. I can't imagine a Harry Potter fan will be disappointed with this figure. It's remarkable, and if I were a massive Potterhead, I'd be over the moon. If not for the QC issue I experienced, this would be a 10 out of 10 figure for me, even with some slight nitpicks. Still, hopefully this issue will be resolved soon. In the meantime, I'm giving this InArt Harry Potter figure a 9.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click the notification bell so you don't miss anything that happens in the 1/6 scale world. Thanks again for the support. I'll see you in the next video.